So the Trippy album, it's odd. It's odd, chat, cause like, first of all, how did you feel about the Trippy Red album? That's the first thing. I know you're not saying. No, I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna say nothing. Look, not too much on that bar. Relax. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. Sean, I look like Salma Hayek. Can I message you on Twitter? Your name is Poop Food. I don't know why I'm doubting you very strongly that you have any similarities in any capacity to Salma Hayek. But I guess try to fool me, okay? If that's how we feeling. It was alright. Alright, so I give my thoughts, right? I listened to it when it came out on Friday, right? It came out Friday, this past weekend. And y'all know how I felt about Trippie Redd the last like basically since A Love Letter to You 4 came out. You know, I ain't really been on the Trippie Redd bandwagon like that. Not to say that I don't love dude, because I actually do like his music a lot. The issue was being, you know, album after album after album of just repetition, generic versions of music that had been already created by other artists. You know what I'm saying? There was a song that had Playboi Carti on it originally. I think it was off of Pegasus that Trippie ended up taking off. There was just so many mistakes. And then he had the hyper pop rap album kind of fusion. I just wasn't into it, you know what I'm saying? And then most recently he had what was it, Mansion Music? Like, these have just been bad back to back albums. So I was very much so forward, you know, I was looking forward to A Love Letter to You 5 a lot because this is his series, you know what I'm saying? This is where he starts to go off. Did y'all like A Love Letter to You 3? I actually enjoyed A Love Letter to You 3 a lot, you know what I'm saying? 4, likewise. So I was thinking, you know what I'm saying? I really don't have any bone to pick with him dropping another album so soon, given that this is what, you know what I'm saying? This is the iteration of the album that is going to be within. It's the Love Letter to You series, you know what I'm saying? So I started off the album and I was unpleasantly met with Corbin as the feature for the first song, and immediately I was just like, nah, bro, I can't do this. Like, this can't be the first track that he hit me with off top. After all these atrocities of records that he's been dropping the last few years. I mean, the singles that he's been putting out for this album were not good. You know what I'm saying? The Drake / Tupac cosplay that he tried to do on Took My Breath Away, I think that's the song of the name, or that's the name of the song. Like, I just wasn't feeling it. So Corbin, the first feature, blew me immediately. I'm just like, nah, bro, this is not good. I get into the next track, Last Days. I'm like, nah, bro, it's just not hitting. Like, I don't know what's happening to me. Thigh Motion, I'm like, yo, it's not hitting that climax. I'm like, I'm 3 tracks in. This isn't good, man. Like, I just don't know what's up. There's a leaked version without him. I don't know what you mean. Like, what? Oh, the first track, Take Me Away? Even with that, I still didn't think it was a strong performance from Trippie. I'm just like, damn, bro, I'm just not feeling it. Then I get to How You Alive. And I'm like, I get it. I'm starting to feel it hit. It started to hit me right here in the chest, in the titties.
Dying. How the fuck you surviving?
So I was just like, yeah, I feel that. You know what I'm saying? I really, you know what I'm saying? That's hit me where it hurts. That's hit me where it hurts. I was like, okay, I'm starting to see the vision. Then Thinking About You hit me, and I was just like, okay, I'm really feeling it now. I'm feeling the piano. And then I heard that melody, and I was like, oh no, is this where we going? And so when I heard Thinking About You, and then I heard Praying for Love, I'm like, nigga, are these the same song? Like right after the next? Like I wouldn't notice?
I love you.
And so then that's where I was like, oh, okay. I love Praying for Love, actually. Praying for Love is actually my favorite song. Like, probably one of my favorite songs off this album. But then after I heard that, I'm like, yo, are you really trying this right now? Are you trying to get away with making the same song, like, back to back in multiple different lanes? And that's what I felt like, you know, was this album's kryptonite ultimately. Because it's a lot of decent songs on here, bro. It is. I like I'm Mad at Me with Wayne. I think that's a great track. I like the cut with the Kid Laroi, to be honest. I think it's a little overblown, and I think most of the song is hook or hook driven, which generally isn't a good song or a good sound, a good sign for songwriting. But I still enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? Flowers with Bryson Tiller. I mean, could have been a stronger cut, but it's nothing too crazy. You know what I'm saying? I liked hearing Bryson after a while. I haven't heard him in a minute. You know what I'm saying? So why not have a surprise Bryson feature? The Hate, I think, is another good song. Do I like the Roddy song? I'm half and half on it. You know what I'm saying? Like a biracial. I could take it or leave it. I don't need it. You know what I mean? I don't need it. The Hate, I really like that song. I don't feel like it amounted to anything. I didn't feel like we had like this climax, or it didn't build into anything. I felt like we just kind of kept this ever building feeling that doesn't end up like exploding into anything. But I actually enjoyed the way he was rapping on the Hate. And then Trip McKnight, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like it has a place on this album that for the most part is full of balladry and, you know, soft spoken love songs, but that might be his way to say that I'm done with love, fuck love, and all this other stuff. You know, nothing too crazy. Did I think that this was a good Trippie Redd album? You know what I'm saying? Overall? No. But did I think it was bad? No. Is it mid? No. But is it good? No. In reality, this album, it teeters on nothing. And the only thing really saving it is Trippie Redd's voice. But I don't know if a part of me is just reminiscing on the vocal acrobatics that he used to pull off from A Love Letter to You 3, A Love Letter to You 4, off of a few features and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if a part of me is still holding on to that. Because this certainly is better than the last 4 albums that I feel like he's dropped, you know, in recent years. It's definitely, in my opinion, the weakest out of everything that I've heard so far from his Love Letter series. But songwriting on here I felt was a little bit bare. The instrumentals I thought weren't really that creative. I mean, you just saw we got one track that was literally a carbon copy of the one that came before it. Just a stronger version. After you hear something like this, why do you even put Thinking About You on the album when Praying for Love comes immediately after? Not to say that it's bad, though, because of it. I just think it's my least favorite. What you describing it seems like it feels like a bottomless void.
I realized that artists in the music industry
could be
who have
worse.
reached a comfortable point in success don't know how to take breaks from releasing albums. Do they not know how to manage and not put out rough drafts? But then again, it's probably record label woes.
But I don't even think it's rough drafts. Like, these songs feel complete. They just feel empty. It doesn't feel like he put much into these songs at all. And for it to be a Love Letter to You series, it's like, why do I feel nothing? Why do I feel no love? If I got cheated on and the person who cheated on me came back to release a bunch of ballads talking about how much they need me and it's this, I feel like they never really cared like that deeply. Like, I don't get a big emotional impact, you know, from this. And that's kind of like the idea that you want to drive home when you making a mixtape or an album that's centered around, you know, a bunch of ballads where you're going crazy vocally talking about how much you love someone or love whoever this person is, you know. But there are still good songs. And the songs on here that are the best, in my opinion, are where he's going off doing his thing vocally. Outside of that, the rest of them are kind of just like a blur. And I think it also suffers from, you know, being too long and being too long-winded and being underwritten and having horrible lyrics in some instances. It's not horrible, but some of the lyrics are just like god awful. The Liger line on this bitch, he had one bar on here about something else. You're fashionably in your birthday suit or some bullshit like that. I'm just like, why would you say that? But you know what? I'm not going crazy on Trippie. I still like this one more than anything that he's dropped in the past few years. It's just unfortunate that it's not still great. So rough draft? Nah, that's not a rough draft. The song feels complete. It just feels empty. These don't feel like rough drafts. They just feel like he didn't put his energy into it for real. Something can feel complete and look like it's finished, but without the soul attached to it, without the love attached to it, really. I'm not saying completely empty, but a lot of the songs feel empty. Outside of that, it's not horrible. It's just blah. You know what I'm saying? But it definitely feels complete. It definitely feels complete. And it's mixed way better than his last record, too.